Well, hi, I'm Jeff Strong. I'm creator of the Auditory Brain Stimulation Therapy Rhythmic Entrainment Intervention. I'm also the creator of the Healing Arts Entrepreneur Coaching Program. And in this series of videos, I'm talking about some techniques and approaches that I take in my practice and what I teach in my entrepreneurship program, covering the different aspects of what it means to run a practice, a long-term sustainable practice. And a lot of what I talk about are really the nuts and bolts of what you need to do with regards to your marketing and your promotion, creating products, diversifying your income, dealing with the administrative end of what it has to be a practice, typical business-related stuff. But what I do is I try to teach this in a way that leads from the place of where you connect with your work, that place of passion, that place of, for most of us, a spiritual connection. Because most of us in the healing arts are doing some sort of work that is kind of centered around a spiritual practice. And so I like to put that forward in the work that I do with this course. And that's really the way it started with me. I started this work, my clinical work in 1992, but I studied the traditions for a decade before that. And the traditions were very spiritually based. I started with a technique that used drumming, both in kind of a drum circle ceremonial format, as well as kind of a rhythm healing concept of working with people. But it was really designed to really look at the spiritual kind of energetic side of things. And then another technique I studied for years was core shamanism. And that's really about going into deep meditative states to facilitate healing with people. I focused on the drumming, and then when I created Rhythmic Entrainment Intervention, started my clinical work, I tried to really look at it from an analytical perspective. We started doing research. I was really focused on using the drum to influence the brain and behavior. Everything is kind of brain-based, talking about entrainment and stimulation. But that spiritual piece, that was really the core of the traditions that I spent a decade with, came with me. I put it in the background as far as the way we presented the work, but it was still the core of the way I approached everything. When I chose to do something, whether I chose to go and speak at a conference or do a research paper or create a different product or a CD, everything was based upon this connection that I had to maintain the purity of what I was doing so that it was true and congruent with who I was and what was important to me. That's what I do in my course. That's what I want to do in these videos, is to help you let that core aspect of who you are, the passion that you are, the spiritual work that you do, be the leading force in the way you do your business. That's what's going to give you the long-term sustainability. That's what's going to give you the satisfaction as you're doing it. And truly, it's going to give you the most success because everything you do is going to have that authentic ring to it. And that's really important. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about maintaining your energy and not getting burnt out. The number one thing you can do to not get burnt out is just to make sure that you're staying true to yourself. I work every day. I love working. There's nothing I would rather do because it's all feeding this deeper piece of my soul on what I'm here to do with my life. So I don't really like to take days off because this is what I prefer doing. So I'll never get burnt out because I'm always staying true to that. The days that I feel like I need to take a break from it, I do. I don't question it. I decide that day I'm going to go and do something else, allow myself a little chance to recharge. And as long as I'm listening to that voice inside, I will make the right decision. But there's times when I kind of get a little bit off track, where I kind of feel a little drained. Maybe something happened and I got kind of disoriented or discombobulated from it. And this technique that I learned years ago is what I fall back on. And this is just a basic energy retrieval. If you're a holistic healer that does energy work, you probably already know this technique. But we're going to do it supported with the drum here today. It'll be about a 5-minute meditation where I play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play at about 7.5 or 8 beats per second to get your brain in that transition zone between the alpha state of consciousness and the theta state of consciousness. Remember, alpha is an outwardly directed state where we're neurologically calm, but we're present and aware. Theta is an inwardly directed state where we have the ability to kind of access that spiritual realm. We're going to be right at that transition. So you'll be very aware of your physical form. We're going to get grounded and use your groundedness as a place to be. And then we're going to be just taking a look at where your energy is missing. So I would like to start by kind of getting grounded, and the real simple way to do it here is to put your feet up flat on the floor, and then just feel the weight of your feet on the floor. Just see if you can get a sense for that that very bottom of your feet as it sits on your shoes or on the floor or the carpet or the wood or whatever it is. Just feel that sensation and just let those feet sink down with as much weight as they have just naturally being. Now bring your awareness up your legs into your seat. See how you're sitting on your chair. Then your back. Are you leaning against a chair? You're leaning without a back like I am. Just reset your posture a little bit. Set your shoulders so that they're relaxed. Imagine energy in your fingers. Can you feel your fingers? Kind of wiggle your fingers if you have to. Just become aware of your physical body. Breathe in, breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. Just some nice deep breaths. And then as you're doing that, what I do is I look up into the corner of the room, right where the walls and the ceiling meet, right there in the corner. And I just look up there and put my awareness there. And then I bring my awareness back into my body. And that brings a lot of my energy back, because a lot of times we're in a lot of places at once. We're thinking about something we've got to do later on, or we're worried about something, or we're thinking about something we did in the past. And that's all places where our attention goes. Therefore, that's where our energy goes. You bring it back into the present moment, and then you can have that clarity and that calm that comes from being present. So as I play, what I'd like you to do is just settle in, continue breathing, maybe close your eyes, and then just ask yourself, am I missing any energy? Simple as that. And you're going to find yourself, if you are, you're going to find yourself drawn to a situation or a person or a thing that has some of your awareness attached to it. This is where you're thinking about what you're worried about, or an interaction you had with somebody in the past, or a client that you can't get out of your head. This is you having left little bits of your awareness, a little bit of your energy there. And at that point, I'd just like to ask, I'd like my energy back. And just imagine that energy kind of floating back into you, settling into your body, and breathe it in. And then ask again. And until you really don't get an answer that you're losing any energy. If you find an emotion coming up at that moment when you say, am I missing any energy? And you have a situation come up and you have some feelings around that, try to separate from the feeling and just say, I want my energy back. Don't dwell on the situation, don't relive it. Just try to just pull your energy in and just let yourself be present in the moment. Keep doing this. I'm going to play for about 5 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to play at that transition zone between alpha and theta. And when I'm done, write down your experience, because that's really important to document kind of what you experienced, the situations that came up for you, or the emotions that came up for you. And if you do this regularly, you'll find that you don't really have a lot of energy you have to retrieve. You're just using this as a means to get present and becoming aware of your body right now. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to play for a little bit and write it down when you're done.